Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about eating well during stressful times. It is a timely discussion because you're probably somewhat stressed being the holidays and all, and that's completely normal and natural. So, how do you eat better during stressful times? The answer is surprisingly obvious and easy, but it's something a lot of times people don't think about or they overlook. And so when you're in stressful times, the best way to eat better is to reduce your stress levels. The answer is not to just stop yourself from eating bad, because when you're stressed, you have a limited ability to stop yourself from eating the unhealthy foods. And it's a double whammy effect. Not only do you have less ability to stop yourself from eating unhealthy foods, but you have more cravings for unhealthy food when you're stressed out. So the real answer is not to just fight against the stress and the cravings as much as you can. The answer is to take that energy that you would use to fight against yourself and dedicate it to doing stress relieving activities, things that relax you and calm you down. And when you can reduce the stress levels, you're more likely to make better food choices and you're more likely to enjoy the holidays, if we're talking about holidays now. But anytime, any period of stress, it helps ground you so that, again, you not only make better food choices, but that you're able to get through the stressful times in a more effective, enjoyable way. And so, as usual, we're not just focusing on the top level thing here. Again, dieters love to just fight against themselves. But if you go one level deeper, you can start to work on the core issue instead of just the symptom, right? Because the stress eating is a symptom of a lot of stress. So if we just focus on the stress eating, we haven't dealt with the stress at the core of it. And so we can either spend our time and energy focusing on not eating or in relaxing and calming ourselves down. And the decision of which one you choose to focus on is going to make all the difference in the world. Because if you only decide to focus on the stress eating, what happens is you just keep generating stress. You keep generating unhealthy cravings. You keep generating unhealthy options and ideas in your mind. And so you're putting yourself in this position where you perpetually have to fight against yourself. You have to perpetually rely on your willpower to fight against all the bad ideas and cravings that your stress creates for you. As opposed to taking that willpower energy and focusing it on, I don't know, taking a couple minutes a day to relax, center yourself, calm down. Practicing being more mindful, practicing breathing, taking a hot shower, getting a massage, doing some yoga, any of these things, plus a million other things that may actually reduce your stress for real and now put you into a much better place. So again, we always have this choice of whether we're just going to focus on the top level thing or if we're going to go deeper and deal with the core problem. And when it comes to stress eating and times of stress, the choice is there as well. But I hope you choose the one where you focus on the core issue, because again, not only is it more effective, but you get exponential benefits from it, which don't just affect your eating, but also affect your mind and everything you're experiencing during that time. So I hope this helps you out. If you want some support in dealing with stress, click the link in my bio and go get the free hypnosis session I give you and go listen to it. It is going to help you relax, calm down, and de-stress in a very powerful way. And and I will help you out with that. So go check that out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. And we will get into it. Oh, let's see. Scroll up here, see what's happening in the world. What's up, Katie? All right. Mathilda, am I saying that right? Mathilda. How much do you lose weight when you don't work out that much? Oh, how do you lose weight when you don't work out that much? You do not need to work out. Working out does not make you lose weight. How about that? No, it doesn't. So, how do you lose weight without working out? This is the core question. You need to understand this. If you're confused by this, you're in trouble, okay? Because, and a lot of people who want to lose weight really have no real sense of the nuts and bolts dynamics that make them lose weight. So, it's really important that you recognize what's going to change your weight is your calorie consumption more than anything else. It's the only thing. You need to reduce your average calorie consumption. The working out's not going to do it. So how do you lose weight when you don't work out is the only way to lose weight is to reduce your calorie consumption. So that's the answer. Now, again, it's a little harder than it sounds, obviously, right? But at the end of the day, the very simple explanation and way you do it is you reduce your average calorie consumption. Now, how are you going to do that? That's the big question. Dieters are just going to stop themselves from eating for a little while. So you need to have a pretty strategic, holistic approach to changing your weight because there's a lot of factors at play. I was going to make the example that a lot of people think of weight loss kind of like it's a bank account, like there's credits and debits, and they simplify it to the idea that we're just like a bank account, but we're not. We're a very complex machine. And so the complexity of this machine really needs to be taken into account because we have all sorts of systems working at play to keep you at the weight you're at now. And so we have to be very strategic with how we reduce the calorie consumption in a way that's going to be sustainable. And I would suggest that dieting is the exact opposite of that strategic way. Dieting is absolutely goofy. So that's good news for you in the sense that if you're a big dieter and you haven't succeeded, the good news is it's not you. You're not the problem. The problem is your shitty fucking diet plan. So funny. Someone mentioned the other day, maybe I shouldn't swear so much on the podcast. Now I feel like I'm just leaning in on it even more. But I'm just trying to make a point. You know what I mean? We got it. We live in a world where we're just fucking, we live in diet world. So, sometimes you got to speak plainly to make a point. Someone says, I can relate to this. I feel most of my disordered eating is from emotional eating. Yeah, of course. Of course. Listen, if you folks are trying to diagnose your weight issue, you can go right to emotional eating. It's emotional eating. That's your problem. Yes, it is. Because if you didn't emotionally eat, what would you do? You would just eat for nourishment, to nourish your body. And then you would eat enough. And then you would be your natural weight. But we live in the world of emotional eating, right? I mean, we've been conditioned our entire lives in America anyways, and in a lot of countries, that we celebrate with food. We deal with shitty emotions and negative emotional states with food. Food is the number one emotional management strategy that we're trained to have. And so, yeah, absolutely. All from disordered eating all the way to, obesity and weight related, all of it's related to emotional eating, in my opinion. And most people have no clue how to deal with their emotions because you've never learned. We've been focused on that Program Yourself. Then we've been talking about emotions this week. And I just got off a call where we talked about emotions the whole time. And it's just like, every time I do these lessons, I'm like, Jesus, like this shit is like fucking gold. I think that about myself anyway. It's a very healthy self-image. And I think that I'm the number one master at weight mastery in the world. And I think one key component of that is managing your emotions. And y'all have no fucking clue how to manage your emotions. You have no idea how to feel the emotions you want to feel regularly. And you have no idea how to deal with the shitty emotions you feel regularly. And so you rely on food and other things. So anyways, Killjoy says the calorie burn estimate on some of those video fitness watches is also bonkers. Yeah. The calorie burn, I'm telling you, this has been the greatest news I've gotten this month, and it's been a great month. Mostly. Today's been a fucking annoying day with some things, I'm not going to lie. A little annoyed, stuck in a weird spot. Got to figure it out. But that's something else. But the best thing I've learned this year is I'm reading this book called Burn. And there's a lot to it, but the main bottom line is that you don't burn more calories when you work out a lot. Felt good reading that because I've been talking for 30 years about not working out to lose weight. Just let's focus on what you're reading. So I'm not a scientist. And so it's really exciting to see, a science person explain why you don't burn more calories when you work out because you start eating more. Your body's a very complex mechanism, as it turns out. I know you don't believe me, but there's studies where they have had people, I gotta get the specific numbers. I always read books and take handwritten notes, and I take those handwritten notes and put them in a digital form, my digital brain. And then once that happens, they usually go in my brain more effectively. So next week or the week after, I'll have more specific details. Right now, I just vague memories of what I read. But basically, they put these women on an exercise program where they were running, and I forget the numbers, but it was a lot of running. It was a huge increase in their exercising. And they started running, and for a year, and they didn't lose any weight, the whole group of them. So yeah, you're not going to lose weight working out. I've said it for a long time, and I had all the reasons why, but it's really nice, just black and white, open and shut, done and done. I don't have to listen to anyone's bullshit anymore about working out to lose weight, which I haven't really been listening to anyways, to be honest. But now it's official, and it feels real good. Feels real good to be able to say that. I have to tiptoe around it. So anyways, Nara says, no, you absolutely should swear. Well, good. You're in the right place then, because turns out I can't stop now. The cat's out of the bag. I used to not swear for a long time. Then I started doing podcast every day. And what happens when you do podcast every day is that the real you starts to come out. Yeah. And there's Darlene. Darlene says, yeah, just be your authentic self. There you go. It is my authentic self. I've been a big swearer my entire life. I was one of the first kids to swear. Listen, my father was a mechanic, although he didn't really swear much. He didn't really like swearing, but I was around a lot of people. You know, I was big at the Greek immigrant community, a lot of hard work and blue collar type people, a lot of colorful language being used my whole life. And so, yeah, I like it. And I think it helps me communicate more effectively. Oh, that's so funny. Nara says, whoever said that otherwise is a hater. Pay him no mind, swear on. All right, Nara, I appreciate that. Swear on. I like that. That's funny. And shit. I need TikTok to fix the questions. Let's get to my I saw a question there, and we'll get to it in a minute. Abs are made in the kitchen. Yes, absolutely. What do they say? Abs are made in the gym and shown off in the kitchen. Okay, I'm glad I kept scrolling up because I missed a bunch of questions. Realist says, can food cause unhappiness and depression? Oh, that's a great question, Realist. That is such a great question. I was talking about this yesterday in the opposite way, but yes, absolutely, food can cause unhappiness and depression. Food's a substance. And substances absolutely cause unhappiness and depression. Every time you finish eating, again, this is a big part of the Program Yourself Thin philosophy, is that if you start focusing on the consequence phase, there's 3 phases of eating: anticipation, consumption, consequence. And we've been conditioned our entire lives to only focus on anticipation and consumption. Every single food ad you've seen tens of millions of them, has been about looking forward to the food and then eating the food. And then we never think about the consequence of the food. We think about the consequence in a vague way in terms of weight, but that's not the consequence that means anything. The consequence that really matters is the consequence that starts 5 seconds after you take your last bite. And the main consequence isn't even physical, although that's there, but you're not going to realize you've built up a tolerance. The primary consequence that'll really knock you on your ass is the mental, emotional one. After you finish eating bullshit, whatever it may be, cookies, ice cream, fast food, junk food, bullshit, whatever, notice how the consequence of it, of what you're saying to yourself, what are you saying in your head? How are you thinking about yourself? Spoiler alert, it's really negative. And then how do you feel? Take a guess. You feel like shit. Specifically, you're saying things to yourself like, oh, there you go again, you fucking loser, you fucking jerk. Look what you did again. Now you ate like that again. No wonder you're overweight. You're fat, and that's why you're always going to be fat, because you're a piece of shit. I'm being a little dramatic. Maybe I'm not being dramatic enough. But let's be honest, what we start saying to ourselves this second, sometimes it's while we're doing it too, but 5 seconds after you finish eating, it's official. What are you saying to yourself? It's negative shit. What do you think about yourself? Do you feel successful? Do you have a good self-image? Is your self-esteem high? No. Are you saying nice things to yourself? No. You're saying mean, negative, nasty, awful shit to yourself, and you feel horrible. You feel like a failure. You feel guilty. You feel shame. You feel frustrated. You feel depressed. You feel unhappy. Every time. Now, you may have gotten good at being in denial about it, but start paying attention to what you say to yourself, what you're thinking about yourself, and what you feel after you finish. 5 seconds after you finish. And that's a very powerful exercise, because now you're really dealing with the consequences that matter to your mind, because what matters to your mind are consequences that happen right now. So again, being like, oh, I shouldn't eat this because I don't want to gain weight. Your mind's like, oh, fuck that. We'll just start eating better tomorrow. We won't gain any weight. We'll be fine. We can have our food and then we'll lose weight. So your mind will bullshit you. But there's no getting out of the consequence, mental and emotional consequence that awaits you on the other side of that. And as you start reflecting on that, yeah, food can absolutely, I would suggest in America, assuming the stats that 75% of the population's overweight or obese, which means 75% of the population is overeating, that overeating does not make you happy. If you've been starving and then you overeat, it might make you happy if you're in a food scarce environment. But if you're struggling like a lot of Americans with a food abundant environment, and then you go and overeat or eat some bullshit, as soon as you're done doing that, you feel you're unhappy. You're unhappy and you're depressed that you did it. So I would suggest that in America anyways, the literal act of what you're eating is probably one of the number one causes of depression and unhappiness in you. Don't believe me? What about someone who drinks all day or drinks too much and has a problem, and then they go and drink again? Do you think the drinking might be a cause of unhappiness and depression? What about someone who uses substances that have gotten carried away with? Do you think that might be a source of unhappiness and depression? I do. So yes, my answer to that. Chai Latte North says, hi, Jim. Thoughts on the animal-based diet? I think the animal-based diet is fucking goofy. I think it's so silly. And again, this book is so great because it really illuminates, listen, I'll tell you what the hardest part of being in the weight loss industry is, if you want to know. And I've been in this industry for 20 years professionally, 30 years personally. The hardest part is listening to fucking idiots talk about stuff that's bullshit. And the carnivore world to me is the fucking central. That's the ground central of that right now. Now listen, can you eat an animal-based diet? Yeah. Sure. Is it the ideal diet to eat for a human being? Are you a carnivore? Do you have canines? Do you have a digestive tract that's 3 feet long? Do you? So this idea that you would just eat animals only, what's that based on? And the best thing I read, this is what I read, because I've saying for years, I say, what's the keto diet based on? Right? Let's say carnivore. Let's just go to carnivore, but really keto as well, right? Animal based. And so they'll look at these random obscure populations that eat primarily meat. One of them is the Eskimos living up north. Right. So as you go further up to the North and South Pole, the further you get away from the equator and the closer you get to the poles, these are where the highest animal eating populations are, because there's less fruits and vegetables, greens, plant-based stuff. Okay. So a lot of times they'll reference the Eskimos because they eat a lot of whale meat, whale blubber. Right. But you know what I learned today? This is the greatest. I was laughing. You know why? Because most people have no fucking idea what they're talking about, and they don't understand the nuances and all the different factors that affect us. But a lot of times these meat-eating carnivore people will reference Eskimos and how great they're doing eating just meat. Well, you know what they found out? That population has a genetic mutation in it that doesn't allow it to go into ketosis. So how about that? So take your ketosis and go fuck off. It's not even, ketosis was made, the keto diet was made for epileptics. So what are you going to do? You're going to go eat like an Eskimo? Guess what? You don't got Eskimo genes. So, again, it's just fucking idiots. It drives me absolutely insane. The weight loss industry, that's been my hardest part of my career. The hardest part has just been existing in this industry, because there's so much dumb shit said. You really do feel disoriented, even if you do this all day, because every day there's another dumb thing being said. So that being said, again, can you survive on an animal diet or an animal-based diet? I don't know. Are you an Eskimo? Have your ancestors been eating animal-based diets for generations? Do you ever think about that, folks? Like, you may not, because I didn't think about this. I mean, I'm obsessed with this shit, so I know things about this that the average person doesn't know. But what you have to understand is that you have to understand context. And the first thing you have to understand is that 8 billion people on the planet, 8 billion people aren't going to thrive off the same diet. And an example of this that I think is really profound is lactose intolerance. Because you look at me and you look at an African-American, you look at a Chinese person, you say, oh, yeah, we can all drink milk. No, we can't. Because almost all Chinese people are lactose intolerant. They don't make the enzyme to digest lactose after being a baby. 75% of Africans can't digest milk. We start getting north, right? Northern white people usually have that gene, so they can digest milk easier. But the point I'm trying to say is, I'm just using that as one example, that we're all different. We all thrive and don't thrive off of different things. And so when you're just taking this diet advice as this catch-all that, oh, animal-based, I'll do that. What are you basing that on? What are they basing it on? Even to the idea of paleo. Oh, paleo person. That concept is the fucking dumbest one of all. That's like in 1,000 years saying all of us now that are here, the 8 billion of us, are, the 2020s diet. We're going to eat like the 2020 people did. Which ones? The ones that live down near the North Pole or the South Pole? The ones that live near the equator? The ones that live all around plants? The ones that only live around animals? Paleo person. Do you think there was one type of paleo person? Which type of paleo diet you following? This is the shit that makes me crazy, because it confuses people to the point that they get apathetic. So yeah, again, if you're an Eskimo and you've been living off of animal-based diets for generations, then yeah, I think it's great. Knock yourself out. You probably thrive on it. If you come from generations of people that have been eating primarily mixed omnivore diets, that's probably what you'll do best with. Statistically, the healthiest diets in the world are plant-based diets. You're not a fucking paleo person. Think about paleo person anyways. Let's just take one flavor of it. Are you living in the woods? You see, you don't even know, like go watch the show alone to get a sense of what it really means to live in a food scarce environment. So anyways, I'm biased. I'm a vegetarian though, pescatarian. Calories over sugar. Yeah, calories over sugar for sure. Calories are what it's all about. Sugar is important to take into account. They are related in a way. But again, it's the concept of there's a theory out there that a lot of people believe that the calories don't matter at all. It's just the calories that you're eating. So it doesn't matter the quantity of calories you eat. It's just the mixture of them. And if you mixture them right, you can eat as many calories as you want. That's bullshit. So JK, need to press the weights. Yeah, and pressing weights is great for a lot of reasons, not for weight loss, though. So there's a lot of benefits to exercise. I'm not saying don't exercise. What's up, Julie? Julie says, oh my God, miracle happened last night. I forgot to eat chocolate. Great job, Julie. I'm proud of you. And that's how it happens. I will tell you too, and program yourself thin. And I will say in my career, one of the biggest challenges I have is program yourself thin is a preventative approach. So dieting is a willpower-based approach where we're looking to head on, we're looking for the cravings, and we're looking to fight them. We're looking for our hunger. We're going to fight our hunger. We're going to fight it. We're going to fight it. Right? I don't feel like that's a very good way to move forward in your life. Don't think it's very sustainable. Don't think it's very effective. So program yourself thin's more about preventing problems. Now, that works better. It feels better, and it's more effective. But the downside of that is a lot of times it kind of feels anticlimactic. So that's been one of the biggest challenges in my career is I help people change the way they eat in a comfortable, soft, preventative approach. And what happens is all of a sudden they're like, oh, I forgot to eat chocolate. Julie's in the program. Right? So it's like all of a sudden, oh, I forgot to eat chocolate. And I said, well, there you go. It's working. So I don't know. I just didn't feel like eating it. Oh, I didn't just feel like not eating. You haven't not felt like eating it for 20 years. It's the work we're doing. But again, it's not that diet thing. We're dieting. Dieters want the fight. They want to struggle. They want it to be hard because you associate the harder it is, the faster your results you're going to get, the more dramatic the results. So dieters don't want an easy, comfortable plan because they associate that with slow results. And so they avoid it. So great job, Julie. I'm proud of you. But that's what you really are looking for. Is you want to just kind of forget about things. All right, Katie's another one another vote for swearing. Well, that was good. In fairness, the conversation was about does like TikTok, do they restrict my live because I swear? That's a question I do not have the answer to. And if they do, well, fuck it. Let's be less people here. I don't give a shit anyways. Sebastian says, abs are made in the kitchen. Yep, I saw that one. All right, there we go. Mark says, I go to the gym and look at these people on the treadmill and just want to scream. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you're just wasting your time with the cardio and in terms of your weight loss. Again, it's great for stamina, you know what I mean? Cardiovascular health. There's a lot of benefits to exercising. Okay. But weight loss just isn't one of them. Yeah, and obviously building more muscle is great for a million reasons. You know, just not weight loss isn't just one of them. Is weight loss 90% diet? Yeah, it's 100% diet. But again, you know, in Program Yourself, then we follow the weight mastery pyramid. So the eating is at the top, but then lifestyle's under it and mindset's under that. And I like that pyramid. Just give you a perspective on. You need a holistic approach here. You know, we can't just, again, diets. So it's not just dieting. So technically, yes, your fat loss is a calorie. It's an energy balance, right? There's calories in, calories out. And so obviously a brain says, well, if I burn more calories, I'm going to switch that balance, right? If I burn more calories, I'm going to lose weight because I'm going to reduce my calorie intake. Well, I mean, the calorie intake could be the same, but if I burn more calories, the energy balance goes into a negative state. I'm going to lose weight. Yeah, true. But what people weren't taking into account is that your body starts to fight back from that. It can literally downregulate your metabolism. It can increase your hunger. There's all sorts of things going on. So, yes, it ultimately is reducing your calorie consumption by putting less calories in your mouth. That's the way you lose weight and keep it off. Now, in order to do that, though, is, again, you've got to have a very strategic plan to do that eating wise. You want the lifestyle to support that, and then you want the mindset to support all those things. So, Darlene says, so happy I stopped in today. Love how you were giving us a different and sensible way to think. We are bombarded with so many conflicting ideas. Thanks for telling it like it is. You're welcome, Darlene. Yeah, that's why I do this. I do this every day for free. My mission in life is to help as many people as possible live at their goal weight. And yeah, that's literally why I do it. I do this every weekday. I've been doing this for more than 2 years now. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. It's a mission for me, for a bunch of reasons. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, Julie says, I'm eating lots of healthy food, so the sugar cravings are a lot less. Yeah, of course. Healthy food is so important. Gretty says, I eat 1,200 calories. I feel great for now. Is it maintainable? I mean, I can't answer that. You know what I mean? Everyone's different. So you've got to reflect for yourself how it's feeling. I mean, if you're feeling great now, great. How long you been doing it for? That's the big question. So if you've been doing it for 2 days and you feel great, that doesn't mean shit. If you've been doing it for a month and you feel pretty great, then maybe you can keep it up. Maybe that's the number that works for you. For the average person, 1,200 calories ain't going to be enough. It's not sustainable. But that's the average person, and there's outliers in the world, and everyone's unique and different. So it's up to you to decide if that's maintainable for you. Okay. And it's probably not going to be. I'm just letting you know. So whatever. Nor does it need to be. Sherry says, I realized yesterday when I felt hungry way before lunch that I didn't eat my apple at breakfast, nourish my body like I should have. I made sure to have my apple this morning. Yeah, great. That's perfect. That's how it works, Sherry. It's like we go through this and we do the right things, we do the wrong things, and we always learn from each of them. We either learn what to do, what not to do. And so again, I mean, in Program Yourself, then we love mistakes. Mistakes are your greatest teachers is one of the mantras we have in the program. And, as opposed to dieters, where again, dieters, it's like a mistake is absolutely catastrophic. So again, not a good, if you want to succeed in life, being terrified of mistakes is going to be a bad strategy. So great job, Sherry. That's wonderful. Killjoy says, where do you stand on drinking calories like protein shakes? I think drinking calories is an awful idea. I don't drink any calories, and I wouldn't. I'm short of, I have some wine on the weekends and stuff, but your body does not, your body doesn't, your body can't track liquid calories because there was no liquid calories in history. What would have been a liquid calorie? Milk, blood. We weren't drinking milk through most of history. So your body doesn't, if you drink 300 calories or if you eat 300 calories, they affect your satiety way differently. And there's a bunch of reasons for that. Okay. So yeah, me personally, I would not, I used to make smoothies all the time. I used to have smoothies Monday through Friday for breakfast. And I feel like it's an upgrade to switch that over to salad. Even if it was the same thing, think about it this way, right? It's like, even if we take the exact same ingredients, we put one into a salad, one into a smoothie, the smoothie, you're basically pre-digesting it, right? You've broken down all the fiber. You've broken down all the material basically in a liquid form to some degree. And so now you're going to drink it and you're going to absorb it way faster. And on top of that, liquid calories bypass your satiety signaling to some degree. And so when we compare eating it, now eating it, it takes longer. I'm chewing. I'm going to create more saliva. I'm still not getting it anywhere near to the blending mode. And so it's going to take longer to absorb. I'm getting more satiety from it because, again, there's a slower absorption with it. So yeah, I do not recommend drinking any calorie. I mean, again, I'm not talking black and white, but I would look to avoid drinking calories as much as possible because you're not getting as much bang for your buck. Because again, I laugh at this every day because dieters don't even know the word satiety a lot of times. I can't tell you the number of dieters I said, yeah, Jim, you're saying that word wrong. And it's like, man, if you even care about weight loss and you don't know about the word satiety, you're fucked. Satiety is the main thing that the weight loss drugs help with. They increase your satiety so you feel fuller. So if you start measuring satiety in your weight loss efforts, it's very eye-opening. And so for me, I'm not going to drink calories because I'm not getting as much satiety value from it. That's simple. And I manage my satiety above all else. The key to mastering your weight is learning how to consume the calories that keep you at your goal weight in a way that's comfortable for you. And that's the only definition I'll accept. So again, anyone that's strict with their calories and they're got them down low. Yeah, you got them down low for a little while and your body's going to go right back up to them because you're not going to be able to keep it up. So you got to be strategic with it and learn how to eat in a way. I've been at the same weight for 30 years. I had one blip 12 years ago, but my eating's very structured. And the structure of it is really built around satiety. I know what I have for breakfast comfortably gets me to lunch. I know what I eat for lunch comfortably gets me to dinner. And I know what I eat for dinner comfortably gets me back to the next breakfast. So I know there's no nervousness. There's no worry. I know what I eat satisfies my hunger. It's not enough. It's not enough for me to say, I know I'm eating, I've reduced my calories down and I'm freaking out all fucking day. Well, that's a failure state. It's never going to last. You're not going to keep that up. Your North Star of your behavior is always quality of life. Always. And so you are going to choose to eat when you're fucking hungry. Always. You can fight it for a while, but it's only gonna be for a little while, and then you're gonna right back to eating a lot. Killjoy says, knew you'd have an answer. You've read more health books than I've even heard of. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. I have. I mean, I literally I've been slowing down the last 6 months. I've been a little slowed down. I mean, I still read like 10 books, but it's like I usually read about a book a week. You know, I'm usually on average, 40, 50 books a year. And I've been doing that for years and years and years. And I take notes on them, so it's like, yeah, I am obsessed with this stuff. And you have to be, because you really have to be obsessed with it to be able to sift through all the fucking bullshit, because the bullshit comes at you from literally 360 degrees. And I really mean that. It's very unusual. It's one of the only areas of life where you are 360 degrees surrounded by fucking bullshit, from dipshit influencers online to doctors that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, to obesity doctors who don't know what the fuck they're talking about in terms of weight mastery. They can tell you all day long about what leads to obesity. But then ask them, okay, what do I do to master my weight? They got no fucking clue. So yeah, we're surrounded by bullshit. That's what I think. Is fat loss 90% diet and deficit? Yes. But again, I don't like the word deficit. You know, again, you want to live your life in a deficit, right? There's words mean things, right? And deficit feels like it's less than it should be. Less than normal is what a deficit is, right? So for me, I reframe it. You may think this is bullshit, but to me, it's like, I'm not looking to get into a deficit. You dieters bullshit yourself anyways, because what do dieters believe? This is how fucking crazy it is. Is dieters are like, I'm going to go into a deficit so I lose the weight, and then I'm going to bring my calories up to maintenance. Well, what the fuck do you think is going to happen when you bring your calories back up to where they were? Well, my body will adjust, and now I'm not going to put the weight on. Huh? What? What? What sense does that make? We can believe crazy stuff. I'll tell you a funny story that makes me think of this, because I believed it too. Like, it's so stupid. And then, okay, so I don't know, somewhere along the way I heard if you want to boil water, actually, if you put really cold water in it, it'll heat up faster. It'll boil faster. And I just believed that. And then I was watching Gordon Ramsay, and I think it was Hell's Kitchen, some show. And one of the it was one of those ones where they weren't like professional chefs. It was like kind of normal people cooking, whatever. And she's like, yeah, I heard if you put cold water, he goes, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, oh, you fucking moron. But that doesn't make any sense. And that's where a lot we're at with the dieting. Think about if you really take a step back and reflect on what your philosophy or ideas of how to lose weight and keep it off are, you're quickly going to realize that the emperor's got no clothes, that you've got no fucking idea. No idea. Not really. You have vague ideas like I need to cut calories, or I need to stop eating carbs. You have vague ideas of what to do, but you have no real strategic plan to live at your goal weight. And it shows up in the languaging we use, because deficit is a temporary thing. Who wants to live their life in a deficit? Doesn't sound very appealing to me. So what I use the language I use is I'm going to reduce my average calorie consumption. I'm going to reduce my average calorie consumption forever because I want to live at my goal weight forever. The whole thing about dieting is it's coded subconsciously as a temporary thing. You're going to diet to get to your goal weight. This is the core problem, because the entire process of dieting is thought of as a temporary thing you're going to do for a little while, not something you're going to do forever. And this is why you can't stick to anything. They're not built to be stuck to. They're built to get you rapid weight loss results. But the truth is that you don't want to get to your goal weight. You want to live the rest of your life at your goal weight. And the strategies you use for each of those are completely different. And every strategy you use to diet is some extreme, overwhelming thing that's going to get you to your goal weight as fast as possible. But the other side of that coin is that you can't keep it up for any long period of time. And so what you've experienced is you've lost weight, and then you always put it back on. And everyone talks about this. The big mystery of weight loss. Why can't they maintain it? Why can't they maintain it? Is anyone fucking focusing on maintaining it? Who's the weight maintenance guru? Who out in the world there in the big names, who teaches you how to live at your goal weight? I bet you can't even give me a name. You're obsessed with fucking weight, and you couldn't give me one name of a person who, you never think of the phrase weight mastery. Weight loss is about getting to your goal weight. Weight mastery is about living at your goal weight. Have you ever even thought about living at your goal weight? That should fucking shake you to the core. Because you're so on the wrong path. You know, it's corny, but it's like you're running fucking east looking for a sunset. You're so far off track with the diets that I can't even, I'm here every day trying to express this, you know? But it's like you're not getting the results because you're not doing the right shit. And you're not doing the right shit because you're studying from the wrong fucking clowns. All the diets that you're learning about are all owned by the big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same companies on Onions, Pretzels, and Cinnabon. Slim Fast owned by the same company as Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Do you really think those companies want you to eat less of their food? Do you? I don't. And so your head's full of fucking bananas because you never get a clear answer because they don't want you to have a clear answer. I was thinking of this today. I was like, you are a profit center. You ever think of that? Like they literally, when you study like the junk food companies and the shit food companies, they refer to their customers as users, right? Just like it's substances. They refer to them as users, and they refer to their best customers as heavy users. It's disgusting. They literally just overlay the language of, I got to be careful what I'm saying because I don't get banned, but they overlay the language of drug addiction over their shitty fucking products. And it's disgusting. Anyways. Grady says, I only do 25-minute workouts. Does that do something? Yeah, it does a lot of stuff. It makes you feel better. You're more energized. Your cardiovascular health's better. You're getting stronger. You're more feel-good chemicals. All that stuff's great. But just don't think that the workouts alone are going to do it. You got to dial the eating down. That's the key thing. Darren says, would you say abs are 90% diet and deficit? I'm not an ab expert, so I don't want to speak about things that I'm not an expert about. Sebastian says, I started talking kindly to myself as far as food is concerned, lost 7 pounds. Great job, Sebastian. I'm proud of you. Super proud of you. That's a big deal. Big deal. And so Sherry says, yeah, the language you use in our heads is so important. It really is. It really, really is. It's controlling everything. What's up, Don? Don's listening to Burn now. Nice. Yeah, it's great, great book. Big fan. I'll be doing a lesson on that in a couple of weeks, like I said. I got some other things I've been focused on, so I had to let the reading go a little bit, which sucks, but I'll be back to it. S says, I can't lose weight healthfully. I just can't. I'm disordered. Again, it's another cliche, but I think it's so true. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So I just can't. I'm disordered is just a real limiting belief. Not to say, listen, and I don't disagree that you may have more challenges than the average person. I'm not arguing that, but I've never met a person who can't improve. I've never met that person. So, thoughts on GLP-1? My thoughts are, again, I am here to be supportive. I guess I hear how I've been talking for the last half hour here, and it sounds like I'm not very supportive, but I'm not against diets and the medicines, first off, like what the medicines do and what we're doing here at Program Yourself Thin are completely different. Program Yourself Thin is weight loss wrapped in personal development. It's about becoming the best version of you possible and living at the weight you want to be at. So it's a much bigger program. And there's a lot more to it than just the GLP-1. And so I feel like if someone doesn't want to or isn't willing to put in the work of mastering their weight, and it is work, but if they're not willing to do that, then knock yourself out with the GLP-1. It's probably your best chance of losing weight. And I think if you're obese for sure, and you're not willing or able to put in the work to actually master it genuinely, then I think it's a good idea to take that medicine, because I think the benefit you'll get from losing weight will most likely exceed any negatives of the medicine. Now, I say that with a big asterisk because we don't know. And so they have studied GLP-1 hormones for 20 years in diabetics, but they have not studied them extensively in people that don't have diabetes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So again, but to me, the goal is completely different. If you just want to lose weight, I'm not your guy, because I don't want to just help someone lose weight. I want to help them be happier, be healthier, be more successful, enjoy their life more. And if that's not, if I don't give a shit about that, I just want to lose weight, that you will not like my program, So that's what I think about the GLP-1. And so I'm skeptical of it. I don't know where things are going to go with it. I don't know what the long-term effects are going to be. I'm curious to see, but at the very least, to me, it's literally not even, it's not even the goal I'm aiming at with my clients. It's not the goal I'm aiming at. I'm not sitting here at my goal weight. I'm not just at my goal weight. It's a holistic process for all holistic reasons. I'm at this weight because I want to think the best I can. I want to feel the best I can. I have the best relationships I can. I have the best business and success. I want to, travel and go on adventures and do cool shit. I got big goals that I want to achieve that beyond just looking down and seeing a number on a scale or a size clothes on my tag. You know what I mean? It's a way more robust goal. And I know a lot of people don't give a shit about that, and that's fine. That's why I make it very clear what Program Yourself Thin is, so the wrong people don't get in it. But again, the medicine is just literally, it's just dialing down your hunger a little bit. And to me, it kind of makes people, well, whatever. So it's fine, but it's different than what we're doing here. Carrie says, do you have any knowledge of histamine in food? I do not. I do not have much knowledge of that. So I am not an expert in that. What's up, Tabitha? Whoops, shit. And if you're asking questions on TikTok, I'm going to start. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, where the hell am I? Oh boy, these questions. It's like I just eliminated a bunch. If I missed some of your questions, I apologize. Neely says, I do all the right things, but when stressed, it's like I have no control, almost blackout and binge. Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's totally common. We call them eating trances in the program. And, but it's, you're not doing all the right things though. Don't say that shit. Don't ever say like you're doing all the right things and it's not working. I'm doing everything right and I'm not losing any weight. Because as soon as you say that, it's a very powerless concept. So you're not doing all the right things because you don't have a strategy to deal with when you're stressed. I'm not judging you. I'm not blaming you. But if you keep saying I'm doing all the right things, but then all of a sudden I just fuck up. Well, okay, you need to increase your ability to diagnose what the problem is. And you're right there because you realize it's the stress. It's that when I get stressed, it's like I have no control. Yeah, you have no control. So you start implementing strategies to lower your stress in general. And then your ability to have a strategy or two that you can use when you acutely have a stress spike. And right now you don't have that. You've got food. When you get stressed, food is your main way to deal with the stress. And so the solution is to, in general, reduce the stress. There's a million ways to do it. And then come up with a strategy or two. I literally just worked on someone with this, where when you start to feel a spike of stress, you have a strategy that you can implement right there to kind of bring yourself down that doesn't involve food. So again, you're closer than you think, but don't use that language because it shuts your brain down to finding a solution. Yeah, Grady says, I usually do 1,200 for 2 weeks and then binge till I throw up. Again, it's just common. I mean, and it's fine. It's not a judgment, but it's like, stop fucking doing it then though. We were talking about that. It's so funny. Because I know Katie was there last night, but we had the coaching call last night. And one of the things we're talking about is that the weight loss is never fast enough, no matter what anyways. But it's like, so often we get discouraged with what we're doing. And then we're like, okay, I got to go. So we're like, we're not getting the results we want. So then we go to extreme land. I got to go down to 1,000 calories. I got to start fasting all day long. I got to start doing some crazy shit. But what happens is when people get in that mode, they don't remember that the last time they did that, or the last 20 times they did that, it didn't work out well either. So again, you're seeing it. I call it diet or dementia. And so it's funny. I don't know if you saw that, Katie, but in the app today, literally, and they weren't even on the call yesterday, but they said that, like, I have to keep reminding. I'll read it to you. I thought this was funny. Let me read it. No, let me get to this fucking app. Apps. Yeah, she goes, every time I think about doing a diet, I have to remind myself verbally how miserable it made me the last time and why I quit. You should do keto. Remember when you lost 40 pounds? Yes. And I remember spending the next 6 months in the fetal position, eating bread and gaining 60 pounds. So again, we have to remind ourselves of this because our brain forgets it. So you have to keep reminding yourself of what is awaiting you when you start cutting your calories down to 1,200. And so, or just keep doing it. We always have two choices, but that's a bad strategy is what that is. It's not that you're a weak person because you can't eat 1,200 calories for more than 2 weeks. It's that it's a shitty strategy. Do people get that? I know everyone always blames themselves, but they don't blame the strategies enough when it comes to weight loss. I don't know why. Spider Lily says calorie deficit is not sustainable nor smart. I hate it when people say just count calories. Yeah, I agree. 1,000%. And again, the funny part is that a lot of times the people that say this shit don't even get the results. And then the people that do get the results with that, that's the influencer thing. I don't feel like getting into that now, but influencers really, I don't know, am I an influencer? I don't want to be, but there's a lot of dumb shit out there. Have you ever read Skinny Bitch? I haven't read it, but I have heard enough about it that I almost feel like I read it. I am going to check it out. I'm going to get that and check it out. Rose says, what are your thoughts on Mounjaro injections? Yeah, same shit as the Ozempic and GLP-1, which is what it is. Yeah, Katie. Okay, yeah, you just read Burn last night. Great job reading that, by the way. So yeah, it was good. And it's good for you too, right? Because again, it just clarifies what's going on. So again, I say that to you specifically, Katie, and then I say it to everyone that you don't know what to do. You've got to get yourself out of that bullshit. That's the dieter mantra. I know what to do, Jim. I just got to get myself to do it. It couldn't be further from the truth. You don't know what to do. And you need to figure it out. And most of what you believe is complete horseshit. So really the process of weight mastery is rooted in discovering your own ignorances and moving past them. You can weigh what you want to weigh. You just have to figure out how to do it. And if the way you've been trying to weigh what you want to weigh hasn't worked for 20 years, I would suggest that it's not you, it's the fucking plan you're doing, because you keep doing the same thing. It's not like you're trying lots of different things. Okay, you think it's lots of different things because on the surface it always looks a little different. Well, this plan tells me don't eat carbs. Well, this plan tells me to count every calorie. Now, this plan tells me to only eat between 12 and 3. Oh, this plan tells me. And so on the surface they all seem different. But right below the surface, they're all exactly the same. It's you jumping into some crazy plan immediately on day one, 100%. And it's overwhelming. You can't stick with it. And you just keep cycling through that process of doing some crazy shit for a little bit and then going back to what you always do. And here you are 30 years later doing the exact same thing. So that's the process and pattern you got to step out of. Oh boy. If I missed anyone's questions, I feel bad, but this is acting kind of funny today and it's missing them. Tabitha says, wait, what do you mean the treadmill is not good? I like to get my 10,000 steps every day and it keeps me lean. That was my question. I'm not saying the treadmill is not good. Please just let me make clear. Exercising is good. Stairmasters, treadmills, weights, walking, jump roping, anything you do that moves your body, cleaning, walking up the stairs, all of that's good. All activity is good. What I'm talking about is the weight effects of it. You're not going to start doing a lot of physical activity and lose weight. But ironically, being more active is correlated with people that master their weight. So there is an effect that's positive from it that helps you with your weight. But what happens for most people is when they start working out more is they start eating more. Oh, I track every calorie, Jim. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're not fucking, no, you don't. This idea that people can track their calories is goofy. It really is. You know what? How about you do this today? You tell me how many breaths you take between 8 in the morning and 8 at night. Let me know how many you take. Go ahead, count them. Yeah, but you couldn't stick and count your fucking breaths between now and 10 minutes. Your brain's not built to monitor automatic behaviors. Your brain's built to put as many things as possible into automatic mode. So this idea that you're going to track every calorie, right off the bat, looking at the side of the box, the calories are off by up to 20% and even more with frozen foods. So right off the bat, you're starting 20% off. And then that's the small potatoes. The big potatoes are your mood. When you're in a bad mood, you're eating more food and you're underreporting it and tracking it. And that's on top of the wrong numbers you started with. So, but listen, Tabitha, if the treadmill's working for you, keep doing what you're doing, right? If things are working for you and all of a sudden you say, oh my God, what's not, just ignore what I'm saying. If what's working for you is working for you, great. But if you want to lose weight, and you know what, believe me or don't, but it doesn't matter because go start working out. And if you start losing a bunch of weight, then fuck it. Great. I'm happy for you. I love being wrong. No problem with it. But the vast majority, you're going to find that you're going to work out more and you're not going to lose any weight. And then you can know why. So again, Tabitha, again, it's never just a treadmill. It's not the treadmill. It's the fact that it's what you're eating. And maybe walking 10,000 steps helps you consume less. You know, again, it's just, there's a lot more to it. That's all I'm trying to say. What's up, Miss Independent? Tabitha says, I'm living proof that walking a minimum of 10,000 daily has changed my body so much. Again, that's good. But I would love to, again, if I dived into that, because things can happen at the same time, right? And by the way, walking is probably an outlier in the terms of exercising, right? So the difference between, there's a huge difference between walking 10,000 steps and doing intense cardio, intense weights, intense running, more intense exercises. So I will say walking really is, I think it's a hack because you are increasing your activity, but it's less likely to trigger the hunger, the soreness, the metabolic adaptations that cause you to stay at the same weight. But I would almost guarantee, Tabitha, that you reduced your calorie consumption to lose weight, though. Yep. This is healthy weight loss goes with delayed gratification. Yeah, I would agree with that somewhat. Although you can kind of finagle that a little bit in certain ways, but I think that's so true. Yep. Katie says, so true, Jim. I have not severely cut my calories again. I know it's not sustainable. Yeah, that's great. And again, I mean, so you have a new foundation though, Katie, you know what I mean? Like now that option's out the window. And so it forces you to keep building on your new foundation. And that's why I say, I know nothing ever works as fast as we want it to. But if you stick with what you're doing, you have a firm foundation under you and you're going to figure out how to get the results you want. Yep. Liana says yo-yo for years. Yeah, that's what most people do. Yeah, Mark says go lift, forget cardio. Sure. Yeah, he says I walk but don't consider it cardio. Yeah, I get that. I mean, again, it depends, right? You walk up a hill. Yeah, it just depends. You know what cardio is and what's not when you're breathing heavy. Breathing heavy, I think, is good though too. It's good for your cardiovascular system. So, I think there's a place for cardio and heavy breathing and pushing yourself a little bit. There's a lot of benefits to that too. But yeah, lifting weights is up at the top. I mean, that's going to improve your quality of life tremendously. Yeah. Okay, Tabitha. I knew that anyways, but Tabitha says, yeah, mind you, I've not only doing cardio to lose weight, I've changed my eating habits and that's how I lost it. Yeah, exactly. So I knew that anyways, but I'm glad you said that. So everyone's clear on this, right? Because the more clarity we have, the more chances of success you're going to have. And again, you cannot even comprehend what a lack of clarity you have when it comes to weight loss for all the reasons I've been talking about this whole time. Cut it out. That's my dog. Lina says, lose weight and keep it. That's the hard part. Yeah, of course that's the hard part, but it's not the hard part. Let me just say something. I want to give you a different perspective here. I'm going to give you my perspective that losing weight and changing my habits was the hard part. Changing my mindset, my lifestyle, my eating habits was the hard part. And now, because I did it in a way that was built for the long term, it's easy as shit. I'm just naturally at my goal weight. Easy. It's easy. Just like you're overweight easily, right? You're so easily overweight that you put all your effort into lowering your weight and you can't do it. That's how easy it is for you to stay overweight. It's just as easy for me to stay at my goal weight now. So my goal for my clients is to get to their goal weight and then live at their goal weight for the rest of their lives on near autopilot. So again, let me just point out, none of you have ever, not even once, been within 1,000 feet of that goal. You've never articulated that goal for yourself. Your goal is always, I just want to lose the weight. I just want to get to my goal weight. You never think about living at your goal weight for the rest of your life. And you have never once thought about living at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. My goal's way better than your goal. Like, sometimes I just like, how obnoxious can I be? Pretty obnoxious. But it's just true. I got a better goal than you guys have. What do you want? What do you want from me? And because my goal's better, my strategies are better. I'll say it one more time. If my only goal is to lose weight, then I'm going to do a crazy extreme shit because I can do it. I can do crazy shit for a little while to lose weight. Great. Is your goal to lose weight or is your goal to live at your goal weight? Once you realize that distinction, you start to realize why you've been lost at sea. Your goal sucks. Just does. Just does. Your goal sucks. That's why your strategies suck. Yeah. Yeah. Tabitha's in the program, by the way. So consistency. But again, listen, like I said, like doing, you know what helped me? So I'll give you a point. I'll give you a counterpoint, Tabitha, is for me, when I started losing weight, I'd started doing a lot of yoga. Now, when I say yoga, I'm talking about the most gentle yoga on the planet, where I'm basically sitting on the floor stretching. I am burning virtually as many calories as I would sitting on the sofa. I mean, it's that low intensity. Now, at the same time, I lost lots of weight. So again, things that we do can have an impact on our weight in a lot of different ways. So again, I want you to keep doing the 10,000 steps. And again, I do think walking is the hack on that. I think when I talk about exercising and working out, I am talking about more intense things. I want to be specific about that. But the walking most likely is not going to create a calorie deficit in of itself because you're going to eat more typically. So you need to have both things in place. And walking, you're able to do it because, again, compare the effects of walking, the negative effects of walking versus the negative effects of jumping into an intense workout program, whether it be cardio, lifting weights, whatever, some intense workout program versus walking. What are the negative effects? Well, the negative effects of jumping into the intense program is you're going to be hungrier, you're going to be more sore, you're going to be more tired, and the licensing effect kicks in because you had to force yourself to do that hard work so much that now you've got depleted willpower and focus. So all of those factors lead to you eating more. Whereas walking, because it's less intense, you're not really that sore. Pretty quick, you get used to it. You're not really tired from it. You're not, what was the other thing I said? You're not really as hungry from it. You know what I mean? Because it's not as intense. So anyways, but great job, Tabitha. Whoops, shit. I'm having a hard time with questions today. We'll tell you that. Yeah, Neely says walking helps my mental health though. Yeah, exactly. So that's what the yoga did. Yoga for me dramatically helped my mental health and my awareness and my sensitivity. All things that dramatically, went towards me mastering my weight. So again, it's just reframing it. They're all good things for different reasons, but not for the reasons we tend to think of them in. Yeah, Tavis says, and to stay toned, I do Pilates. I don't like lifting weights. I get bored. Yeah, I get it. So if you're bored, if you're trying to force yourself to do something boring, it's probably not going to work for you. So great strategy, Tabitha. Proud of you. You're using what works for you. Chai Latte says, do you think I'll have to track calories for the rest of my life or can it be maintained more easy? I mean, program yourself thin. We don't count calories. We structure our eating. I do believe you need to have some consistency and structure to your eating. That's one. Again, my core rule for program yourself thin is there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. But I do believe that you need to have some consistency and structure to your eating. And so that takes the place of counting calories. You might count calories a little bit just to become more aware of what you're eating. But once you've figured out what you're eating and we start to systematize it and structure it and make it more consistent, there really isn't a need to count calories in my world, so counting calories, most people aren't going to do it. Tell me what you're doing. My dog going crazy over here. Lana, so yoga is better than walking? Not necessarily. I mean, it depends on your personality. If you love walking, then walking would be better. If you love walking and you're out in the woods and you see people you like and you pet your favorite dogs or whatever, it's more than just calories burned though. That's what I'm trying to say to you. If you could start thinking beyond just the calories into the kind of side effects of it, Tell what you doing. Oh, my dogs are freaking out. So again, it just depends, but they're both good. Whichever one kind of calms you down more and helps you eat better. That's how you should frame it. Let's look at it that way. Whatever you're looking to do, exercise wise, yoga, walking, don't just look at calories burned. Look at which one helps me eat better. That's probably a better way to judge them, I would say. That's going to be more helpful to you. So I'm getting into yoga thanks to you. Connecting with my body and mind is so important. Yes, agreed. And the yoga absolutely supports everything we're doing in the program. So that's great news. I'm glad to hear that. Damn, Jim, I'm so grateful I found you. You're the best human ever. Well, thank you. That's a nice thing for you to say. Let's a little screenshot of that. Says January will be a year listening to you calling me out on my BS. That's great. And now look where you are though, right? You're at your goal, all happy. You got great strategies. They're long term. They're set up for long success. Nice job. How do I stop being skinny fat? I mean, you just stop being fat. The skinny fat's it's bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just being fat on a skinny body. So you can either lift a lot of muscles and be muscle fat, or you can lose the fat and be skinny. It's up to you, Lana says meditation helps to keep me calm. Yeah, exactly. That's why I think meditation, the hypnosis is like that. That's one of the big benefits of hypnosis is that it quiet and calms your mind down. It relaxes you. And so it's not just the great stuff you're getting in your head. It's the feeling of it that feels a lot better. So they both help out. So great job. Yeah, they all help. All right, everyone, I got to get out of here. But again, if you're not in my world, please go to my bio, click the link at the hypnosis session. It's free. I'm giving away a Calm Holidays training and hypnosis session. That's really good. It's free. Okay. You just get it. I got an app you can get into now. There's a community. It's free. How much more free stuff I can give you? So if you're even remotely serious, and especially during the holidays, because the Calm Holidays thing, not only will you probably eat better and maybe you'll lose some weight, but the more important thing is you go through the holidays calmly, enjoy them more. So when the new year rolls around, you're in a better position to take steps forward. All right. So again, I give you all sorts of free stuff to help you out. You go check it out. And I do this live every day, usually Monday through Friday, right around noon Eastern time. And it will, I see, Don, I emailed you. I'm still not getting normal emails. You did email me? I didn't see your email, Don. Only the daily hypnosis. Oh, okay. I know what that is. Yep, I got to fix that. I do know that problem at least. At least that's one I do understand. I'm in the middle of a lot of problems I don't understand. So that one is an easy fix. I will fix that for you. So it's also a podcast. So I record this. It's up. Program Yourself Then's the podcast. And you can go check it out on all the platforms and everything else. I think we're good. Tolly, you want to say hi? Come here, Tolly. Come here. Want to say hi, everyone? I'll say my dog. Come here. Here's my dog. Oh, there she is. Say hi to everyone, Dolly. Oh, you do, sweetie. She's like, sweetie. Wait, you lick the microphone? She's over here, wants to go outside. Oh, you being a good girl? She's the sweetest, huh? I love this one. She's a good one. One of the good ones. You get good and bad dogs in life. It's messed up to say, but she's one of the good ones. So, all right, everyone, get out of here. I'll let her out. All right, everyone, have a super day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.